what I would want to ask you before you even welcome us is, would it be possible to have another such interaction with the young people and the online groups in the near future?
So. I'm trying to defog their minds, because there's a lot of fog in the world. So I don't mind defogging them, removing the fog.
Wonderful. So we can
anytime.
Yeah. So to everybody who has been not very happy with me for not that we couldn't all fit here, let's all at least take comfort knowing that very soon, by God's grace, we will have another such, maybe on a bigger scale, interaction with the young people, because the questions are many and always seeking advice. Thank you for hosting us or allowing us to come here today, Museveni. So today we just have a few questions that we're going to ask. We have a number, but we'll all ask one, and if you still have time, we might come around to asking a second question. The first question will come from Christine Mawadri.
Thank you very much, Natasha. Your Excellency, it's a great pleasure to have this opportunity to interact with you. My name is Christine Mawadri. So my question to you today is, Your Excellency, the creative sector is broad, and yet most times it is only the musicians, content creators who are considered as a whole sector. However, skills like IT, fashion design, baristas, chefs, artisanal arts, and the like, basically innovators and creators around the service industry, and we're talking about the young men and young women who are happy to be waiters, valets, and all these create jobs, are also part of the creatives. We're also talking about those who want to go into holistic health, like the masseurs, those who are into herbal medicine, and the like. Can the government have a deliberate effort to support local innovation so that we don't import these skills? Because we actually have passionate people and innovators who can do these jobs. Can there be a ministry for just innovation and the creative sector, sir? That's my question. Thank you.
You said you must know where you are coming from. This land here is populated by us, the Bantus of the lakes, then our Nilotics, and some other groups from like the Rugbara from Central Africa, then the Karamojong, Ateso. We are people of this area who had a lot of problems in the past with we had a period of peace between 900 and 1400 AD under the Bachwezi. But when the Bachwezi kingdom collapsed, these new small kingdoms came up: Bunyoro, Buganda, Ankole, Rwanda, and they were busy causing war among us for almost like 400 years, from 1400 until the British came. Now, when the Europeans captured our inefficient kings and us, they killed all these skills, and they brought a colonial economy, very narrow money economy. Or by the end of the colonial period, it was called the small economy of the 3 C's and the 3 T's. The 3 C's being copper, coffee, and cotton. And the 3 T's being tobacco, tea, and tourism. This was accounting for only, I think, 9% of the population. So you had that, in those days, we were calling it enclave economy, meaning a small island of modernity surrounded by a sea of backwardness. More than 90% of the people were living outside the money economy, where the original Myoga had been killed. Because the original Myoga had been killed by European imports. Instead of making the plates here, you are now importing them. The cups, the what, the saucepans, the containers, the chairs, everything was being imported. So therefore, that's how they brought their own economy of the 3 C's and the 3 T's by the end of the colonial time. So we went on like that for the few years of independence until Idi Amin came. Now when Idi Amin came, he killed the small colonial economy of the 3 C's. Out of the 3 C's, only coffee kept on. Cotton collapsed, copper collapsed. The 3 T's, everything collapsed except tobacco. So, when NRM comes in, this is what we find. So therefore, as I've been telling you, we're being systematic. Our phase 1 was minimum economic recovery. Bring back the small island of the 3 C's and 3 T's, if you can. Bring it back. This is phase 1. Phase 2, expand it. More coffee, more tea, more this and that and that. Number 3, phase 3, diversify. Bring more products into the money economy, which were regarded, because in the colonial times, they would talk of cash crops and food crops. Bananas were not a cash crop, they were for just eating. And yet for them, they were exporting bananas from, they were making money out of bananas, but they were telling us money. Bananas are not for money, they are for just eating. Maize was for eating. Milk, near cattle people can imagine, they were saying milk was not a cash product. So the third phase of our recovery was to put into the money economy products which were previously regarded as just for food or for subsistence use. Where we have now entered is the knowledge economy, the automobiles and so on and so forth. So, when we were doing those minimum recovery efforts, we knew, for instance, even if you take sports, why have we only built Nambore as a national stadium and repaired Nakivubo, and recently we had to build Hoima under pressure because of AFCON? Is it because I'm a footballer myself? Is it because we didn't know that football was important or sports? No, we knew, but we had so many things to start with, which if you start with, will enable you to do other things. That minimum recovery I've told you, the 5 phases, and then you come to security, defense, keep the country safe. So the money you have, you put quite a bit of it there. Then electricity. Then the roads. So that when you deal with those, then you can now add on. So we shall add on all those we are talking about. We are aware, as I have told you, even sports, we are not really concentrated on it. when you see these talents who are coming up, the runners in Kapchorwa, it's mainly because of peace. Peace and this education, UPE. Children come from the villages. They are not so much really supported, but they come up because of the other little progress in peace and education, the school system. They come up. That's how we come to notice them. But we have not really gone out yet fully. The emphasis has been more on agriculture, manufacturing, those basics, so that we have the base, then from the base you can, because all those skills need food. You can't dance and do all those things you are doing, dance pakachini and all this one. When you don't have food. So we had to get you food first, then soap to wash, because there was even no soap. Then the basics. This is what we have been struggling. These are the 5. But now we have gone to phase 5 of the North economy. So the more the economy expands and transforms, because we are doing 2 things: expansion, diversification, but also transformation into knowledge economy, for instance. The vehicles, I don't know whether they can, the Kira motors, all these computers, it will come. The time is coming for you people, the creative people, so that the country pays more attention to you because you have the basics. Uganda is very rich. We are not like other countries. Because if you look at the countries you like so much, like Japan, they are very limited. They don't have capacity for agriculture. They don't even have raw materials for manufacturing. But you must have the basics first. So we have not forgotten it is coming, to answer your question.
Thank you.
You are the ones who invited me. You are the one who invited me. When you do so at your own risk.
Your Excellency, thank you.
I can talk for ages once you give me opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mzee. I'm sure Christine had another question, but let's first give others a chance. So the next will be Osman Kawesa, billionaire. These are some of your supporters, one of your big supporters.
Thank you, my sister Natasha. Oweekitiibwa President ngenda kwogera mu Uganda kubanja message yange etuuke wansi ddala ku ground ne bavubuka bannange abali wano basobole okukitegeera. President, abavubuka bangi mu Uganda naddala mu nsi z'Abawarabu. Oweekitiibwa President, osaze magezi ki?
Abaana abo tebanawuliriza bulungi okuwabula kwaffe, kubanga emirimu gisangibwa mu bubondo. Obubondo kigambo kya Luganda meaning sector. N'emirimu bisangibwa mu bubondo buna. Akabondo k'okulima n'okulunda n'okuvuba omungeri ekola sente ate n'okozesa ekibalo. Nabalagako wano omusajja gwe bayita Nyakaana, mbadde mbalaga ku ntimbi zange bwe mba ndi mu nkungaana ez'olujjudde. Nyakaana alina eka emu n'obutundu 3 y'ettaka. naye kati alundirawo ente z'omu kiyumba z'amata n'alunda n'enkoko z'amagi 120 buli lunaku. Buli lunaku omumagi gokka n'afiisawo 3,000 bw'ajjako zakozeseza. Kati 3,000 amagoba amaze okujjako ensaasaanyi. Kati ezo ze miliyoni 18 omwaka magoba. Kati amata atunda wadde akolera awafunda naye ajja mu liters 12 buli lunaku. N'ajjamu amagoba ndowooza 60,000 buli lunaku. Ze miliyoni 1.8 omwezi. Omwaka ze miliyoni nga 2 amagoba. Ate n'ebirala akola ekigimusa n'ebirala byayongerako. Byonna mu wiiki emu n'obutundu 3. Kati Uganda erina acres miliyoni 40 za agriculture. Ebi byonna tubimanyi kubanga muri Dubai gye mwenjereyo. Naye kati Nyakana akozesa abantu 15. Ebyo byakola bizadde emirimu y'abantu 15 mu wiiki emu bakozesa n'abasasula. Kati nakibalamu nti nebo watutute acres miliyoni 4 gonna nebo ofuna acres miliyoni 7 zokka ne bakola nga Nyakana bwe yakola. You are going to create Uganda kukola emirimu 15 million obukadde. Ekitegeeza nti ogenda kufuna emirimu egisinga n'abantu abali mu Uganda wano. N'abanoonyi b'obubundamu bagenda kufuna emirimu ate ne tusaka abakozi okuva ebweru. Naye kubanga ebiriwo ababikozesa batono. Waliwo kesi ya Basangwa mbadde njiraga ku TV wano. Basangwa ali Kamuli namusangayo bwe nali mwaka 2007 bali barwanira wa LC5 chairperson. Bangi bona bagala kutingana. Naye nagenda ne mbagamba nti naye kulwaki temukola birala. Nimbaga bino byembagamba. Twabagamba mu kalulu ka 96 twabawabula agriculture yokka ebirala bireke agriculture yokka bwoba olina acres 4 teekamu eka emu y'emmwanyi eka y'ebibala omuddo gw'ente z'amata z'omu kiyumba ebintu biringa nga 7 okoleko ebimu oba byonna mu acres 4 olesi. Kati bwe nasanga bagala kutingana ku lwakalimu ka LC5 ne mbawabula bannange munoona budde mukole ebirala muve ku bwa chairperson bwa LC5. Ye n'ajjamu okulunda enkoko z'amagi. Kati buli lunaku afulumya trays z'amagi 25,000 buli lunaku. Ali wali Kamuli mugendeyo mulabe. Buli lunaku trays z'amagi 25,000 buli lunaku ayingiza miliyoni 2. Ali wali tali Dubai ali wano. Mwinza kuwaba nomugenda America numunoonya Basangwa kubanga mulidi nti ayingiza sente nyingi naye ali wano Kamuli buli lunaku ayingiza $2,000,000 ze $6,000,000 omwezi bwe buwumbi 7 mu obukadde 2,000 omwaka ali wali kati eyali anoonya kalimu ka LC5 kati akozesa abantu 3,000 yefunira omulimu ogugwe ate obugagga bwe buzaala emirimu 3,000 bakozesa mugendeyo mubana byengambe so emirimu giri wano gifattulo naye mwe you are disoriented. That is now agriculture. If you now go to manufacturing, eyo mirimu naye weeri. Then services. Onozagamba, you can see border, abana bari mu border. That is now services. Then the ICT. So emirimu ejjudde potential eriwo naye tumugiraba mugireka wano ne mugenda kukola emirimu y'obuddu mu Buwarabu. Okay.
Next question is from Dada Yenyini. I don't know if that's what, I don't know what your actual name is. Can you introduce yourself?
President, ikibuzo cyanjye kibuza mu Uganda kikwata ku bana b'abageto webale kisajja kino kitumalako wayamba ku bana b'abageto n'obaterawo kibayita ghetto structures. Ghetto structures zino zibayambye nnyo okuva mu mbeera gye baalimu era nti banabyabufuzi okwekalakaasa nga babagulira enjaga n'okubawa buwalagi ne babagamba mugende mukume ebipiira ku makubo mwokye enguudo. Essaawa eno tekikyaliwo era ndowooza olaba emyaka 5 giweddewo teri mwana wa ghetto yeekalakaasa. Pulezidenti, ekibuzo kyange ogenda kukuuma otya embeera eno? Ekirala waliwo ghettos okwetoolola Kampala mu cities endala ezitali Kampala zo oyina nteekateeka ki zigenda ozituukamu? Neyanza President.
Zona tugenda kubanga eno PDM oga Youth Fund ensawo ezo zonna zaali za kugeza okulaba ekikola n'ekitakola. PDM egenda kukola bulungi ekyalina bitonotono naye egenda kukola bulungi kubanga bananyini bebagirimu abanaku wadde bakyabuzibwamu oluusi tebajja mu lukiiko olujjudde general meeting okulonda akakiiko ka saako akafuga saako oluusi tebajja niwajja batono nebeerondamu bokka naye ekyo mwena bwe mukyogerako ne mugamba nti olukiiko lwa general meeting eya saako lulina okubeerawo nnaku bwezitiini buli muntu yena n'amanya kigenda kukola kubanga eri emabega nali sindika sente za NADS operation wealth creation naye nziyisa mu bakozi ba gavumenti. Kati abakozi ba gavumenti abo nagenda kuwulira abantu eri wansi bagamba nti beegabira bokka nengamba nti oba beegabira bokka kati sente zizino mwekoleko mmwe buli muntu yena omukulu mumuluka ayingire mu saako bw'aba yagadde emyaka 18 okudda waggulu. Kati abo be balonda akakiiko akanaddukanya saako y'omuluka Tebana kikola bulungi kikyabulabulamu. But they will learn. So, n'abageto nabo tulina okubategeka mu bitundu byabwe. Kubanga bw'okwataganya ensawo n'ekitundu kyanguko nga kati omuluka emiruka gimanyiddwa buli omu alina omuluka gy'ava. So it is easier to check than when it is vague. Kiri eyo district wala. So we are now going to organize the ghettos in a way which is easy to monitor. And we shall put money, like we have done for the PDM, we shall put different money for all those groups. Even the churches, we shall give them money in their dioceses, the ghettos, the ones of Jinja, Mbale, Mbarara, all of them we shall support them.
Thank you, Mzee.
Kubanga sente ezo amagoba gali wansi bwe tukoleza akakadde oluvannyuma y'omwaka okomyewo akakadde n'emitwalo 6 kati bogeraganya na money lenders babadde bakuwa akakadde oluvannyuma lw'omwaka n'okomyewo miliyoni nga 6 kumpi banyunyusi n'olwekyo enenkola egenda kukola. Naye mulina okwongerako okulonda ababaka abalumirwa ensonga zammwe. Kubanga bano abagezigezi oluusi bagezako kubanga sente zino nnungi. Banakigwanyizi abamu bagala kuzitwala bazikozese bakole ebyabwe. Kati mmwe mulina okuzirwanako. Ate ne mukolagana n'abakulembeze abalumirwa ebyammwe. Bemba mulonda kibana bagenda kukola ebyabwe.
When I was with you on the trail, I noticed that many of the young people kept saying that one of the things that they really picked up from the 6 months they went to the skilling hub, those regional skilling hubs. It seems that the mindset class is very transformative in the lives of those young people, and I wanted to ask that our mindset as Africans, is it a hindrance to us as Ugandans and as Africans, and what can we do about it?
Of course, that's what I was telling you. Those children in their local language say mindset. They don't even finish the whole sentence. They say, Nasoma, Gudvario, Nasoma, Okutunga, attending Somana mindset. They don't even finish the whole sentence. But what they mean, mindset change, which is taught by our UPDF officers who come there and show them that what I've been telling you, because that's what the other Kawesi, was he called Kawesi? The one who was saying that why do we go to the Arab countries to look for jobs when they are here? It is a mindset problem. Mindset meaning you don't have the spectacles to see what is available for you. And that's what they are talking about.
Okay. But what can how?
And that's what we were struggling with in the 1960s. That was part of the problem. And mindset, like for instance, when NRM came from the bush, the 10 points program, point number 5 was talking of the building an economy which is independent, integrated, and self-sustaining. And it is that effort, which is not fully implemented, just partially, that has made Uganda succeed. The other day, during the New Year's speech, I told you that now our export earnings are more than our import bill by more than $2 billion. We've got a surplus on the I think they call it current account, or I don't know how they call it. So this is because of that value addition. The shirt I'm putting on is from Ugandan cotton. But in the past, this was being made in I don't know where. But we had to insist until there was food integration through these a few companies like what is it called, the one?
Fine spinners?
Fine spinners, and then native. Now, this is the crisis in Africa. Even coffee, we are still exporting unprocessed coffee. We are struggling to add value to it. And when you export unprocessed coffee, you get $2.5 per kilo. A very good coffee called Screen 18. But when you add value, you can go up to $40 per kilo. That's how the coffee business in the world is $460 billion. But the coffee producing countries of the whole world, including Uganda, take only 25 billion out of the 460 billion. A country like Germany, which has no coffee, earns $65 billion from coffee by using the coffee of the sleeping people. In Hamburg, you have got all the coffee processing there in Hamburg. Germany earns more from coffee than all the coffee producing countries of the world. So this is the mindset. This is the mindset change we are struggling with at the local level, at the individual people's level.
Is there a way that we can all, that more of our young people can access?
It can be to introduce it. The new syllabus, because the new syllabus was talking about skills, to go back to our tradition.
Okay.
For instance, when you get a degree in what? What's that? What? Somebody even gets PhD. But what will you do? What if the conflicts are not there? What will you do? So you can find the education system had been derailed really it is as if it was deliberate to make Africa import dependent. Import everything. Even food. So the syllabus, the new syllabus, the new curriculum, which we worked out, is attempting to send back people to skills. Yes, me, I'm a man of literature. I can quote for you Shakespeare. What Shakespeare said, how he was standing, he was looking this way, and he said this. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Museveni. It shows that you can remember things. But what are you going to eat? But I have my mwoga. I am a cattle keeper. Literature is just for interest. So that one is the one which will reorient us, which reoriented us, and that's how we manage it, and then others can also join us.
Thank you, Zay.
To have a society of skills.
Of skills and of a self-sufficient thinking, maybe.
Yes.
Our next question is from Isaac Katende, popularly known as. Is that you, right? Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Natasha, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good morning, His Excellency.
Morning, Katende.
How are you doing, sir?
Very well.
I can see things seem to be going well for you. Today I don't want to brag, but I'm one of the biggest YouTubers in this country. In real time here, we had over 10,000 people before we went off that we are watching on Kasuku Live. So that means it is something very big. For the youth, we are making money off this platform. You can see Natasha is here with her phone and a stand. And today you're talking to over 2 million, 3 million, 5 million Ugandans with all of us combined. But we have not yet seen government involvement in supporting us. We are not talking of supporting us in terms of giving us money because we are making the money. Platforms like YouTube being shut down. A very good example I'll give you. Today we have people on TikTok, like all of these. If you ask these people where they were 3 years ago, they were putting on suits, going to offices to ask for jobs. Today they will tell you they are able to make 3 million shillings a month and they feed their families. So we are trying to find out how do we get the government to support the digital space? How do we get government to enhance, to understand from the things you've been explaining to us, farming and all of this, the digital space brings us closer. It connects us, the farmers, the manufacturers. But we are not seeing government coming up to tell us or even to understand what the digital space is. Of course, people talk about digital this, digital that, but we have not yet seen someone who has come up to grasp it. Where Natasha is trying, you can see, she's putting up these engagements for us, to come and talk to you. But we want the technocrats, we want you to understand that we can use this digital space because it has so many apps like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. People are selling items there. People are creating content on there. And they are making money. They are very okay. However, what we have received now, we see government coming up, shutting down Facebook. Some government officials are telling us we shall lock down TikTok, all those things. And then we are wondering.
I was the first follower of that capacity of the digital. Because previously we were depending on satellite, people who were communicating by radio, by digital, electronic. We are doing so through satellite. The physics of that is line of sight. That's the physics of satellite. It's like I see with my eye, then enhanced. But it was very expensive. I don't have the details here. There was so many dollars per megabyte or so. There's something there, the way they calculate it. Is it megabyte or what? The cost. Per what? It was a lot of money. So, Katende didn't know that I'm the one who worked very hard to bring the backbone, the underground network. What do you call it? Huh?
Fiber.
The internet. Yes, I'm the one. I'm here. there was a problem which I were following very closely. Of course, Kateni didn't know because he was comfortable in his house. But me, I was not sleeping because the undersea cable from Asia was passing through the port near through Eden. It was passing through Eden to the Red Sea and going to Europe. And then another undersea cable was passing from Cape Town, Atlantic. So there was a gap between Eden and South Africa, which we worked with so many people. There's now undersea cable to Mombasa, to Dar es Salaam, and then underground cable from there to here now, from Mombasa and from Dar es Salaam. That's how the cost came down. The cost, you can get the figures how it came down from so much by satellite to so much now. It is much now. There was a tax there. We had put a tax. I don't remember. I think that's what we should discuss. If the technology now is there because the underground cable is there, and it is being sent to all parts of the country. You can check. I think even Arua now may already be having the underground cable. That's the infrastructure which is crucial. Now, if there are any other little issues like tax or what, that can be looked at. But the infrastructure, we foresaw that and we put it there. Now, there were attempts by the telephone companies to monopolize, but we said no. Electricity, the railway, and the internet backbone, they call it internet backbone, must be owned by the government so that we are not there to make profit. We are there to facilitate business, as you are saying. Facebook, yes, I closed Facebook. Funga. Because they were play around with us and we would not close them. We closed them. And I waited for the cows not to go to graze. The cows are going to graze. Fishermen are fishing. Uganda is continuing. Because like 5 years ago, forgot about it. So we want to put discipline among them. There's no other issue. Otherwise, if they behave well, fairly, we shall open them up. We have no problem. The only thing there would have to be tax. Why the cost? I will check. Why the cost is not even lower? Does anybody here know? Wanyama, would you know? We shall find out and let you know why it is not even lower. Now, recently, I have been in talk with Elon Musk. He has been telling me that his satellite is called Starlink. That when I allow him to come here, although it is satellite, but satellite was expensive. That's why we migrated from satellite to underground cable. But Elon Musk has been telling me that no, satellite is now cheaper. So we are studying that. We shall, if it is true, we shall allow Elon Musk to bring his satellites here. If they can make that digital connection cheaper than the underground, then we shall. We are already. I became aware of this long before Katenda was born. When were you born? When were you born?
I was born 6 years after you came.
That time,
No, 4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
1990.
Yes.
Yeah, because when I visited China in 89, that's when I negotiated with what was the company? The one which did the internet? Huawei. That's when I negotiated with Huawei. So Huawei of all of that.
Let's first get some others and then we can come back. Okay? Thank you so much. Kasuku is a big internet personality. Mzee, I'm saying Katende is a big internet. These are big internet personalities. All of them you see here.
Mm-hmm.
They have very interesting.
I'm very lucky to be
yes, indeed,
in the presence of such powerful people.
Yeah. Our next question will be from Mr. Simon Kaheru.
Thank you, Natasha. Your Excellency, first of all, thank you for having us and giving us all this time. My question is pretty simple, and you've already started touching on it. I'm here on behalf of the East African Business Council, so my focus is private sector and regional. And I'm interested in you giving the young people a message around the NRM ideology being built on Pan-Africanism and your consistent championing of regional integration for economic reasons. Even today, you have spoken about it. But many of these young people, not only the ones in the room, but even the ones out there, do not make the link between regional integration, the production that has increased with Ugandans coming into the money economy, and the opportunities, direct and indirect, that they can receive. So we'd be happy for you to give them a detailed message around those opportunities. Thank you, Excellency.
This is where the Africans are in big danger if you don't wake up, your generation. Because there are two issues. Prosperity. Where does prosperity come from? Prosperity comes from a wealth creator like myself. Me, I'm a wealth creator. I'm not a parasite. I'm a cattle keeper. And I'm a grower of bananas. But when I grow and I keep cows and produce milk and produce beef, the Banyankore don't buy from me. Why? Because the Banyankore also have their own milk, their own beef. They don't buy from me. The ones who buy from me are the people of Kampala. So that's why me, I am a lover of Uganda. Because Uganda is the one which is crucial for my prosperity. You can see my cows there. Love Uganda. Other people say, love Ankole, love Buganda. I say, yes, I love those, but Uganda, I need it more than any of those. Because it's the one which will support my prosperity more. But then, because I'm a big producer, and other people are producing a lot, we have now discovered that Uganda is not enough to absorb our products. We need East Africa. We need Africa. So that's why we say patriotism, add on Pan-Africanism. You must love Africa for your own good. You must love Uganda for your own good. So when I see people talking about all sorts of things, but we're not talking about that, I feel sorry, very sorry, and very concerned about you people. By that time, I will be in heaven with Ibrahim. We shall be sitting in heaven there. And we will be suffering here. Like Latin America. You can see Latin America the way it is happening. Why is Latin America miserable? And yet, in terms of natural resources, it's actually much richer than the United States. If you look at the water, you look at the minerals, you look at the forests, Latin America is richer than the United States. Why should the United States be more prosperous than Latin America? Because of that difference of integration. When the American colonists separated from England, they formed the nucleus of the United States. The 13 colonies, they formed the nucleus, then they have been adding on. That's why in America you can easily succeed if you are a businessman. Because if you are in New York, you produce a product, you can sell it all the way up to California. 300 million people. Now in Latin America, you are in Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, you are here. If you produce a product, you can't. How would you succeed? Here in Africa, if I produce a product to go to here, I must negotiate. To go there, I must negotiate. That's why we have to try and revive this African community. Now, but there's also the issue of strategic security. That's why for us we support the Federation of East Africa. Because as we speak today, the Americans are on the moon. The Chinese are on the moon. The Russians are on the moon. The Indians are going to the moon. You fellows, we are here on Earth, here. The Europeans are looking at us from space like here. They are seeing us, we don't see them. This is very dangerous. And you have all these Katendes, all these fellows, influencers. What are you influencing? Why don't you say, you people are in danger? People are on the moon, we are here. They are seeing us, we don't see them. But can Uganda and the Americans, they have been saying so openly, they say for them, they want to be superior in land forces, superior on land, superior at sea, the Navy, superior in Air Force, in space. Where does that leave Africa? Africans are here, dance Pakachina. Yes, you can dance if you want, but please, look at your future. Where is your future? How will you be safe? How will you be safe in the world? So that's why you can bring my tablet. Can you bring my picture? I'm lucky to see this Genzi Wanange. Let me see me Wanange. Let it find each bring my picture. Wanange Katonda Jari. Abakuru bano bonna bali wano ngana funa mukisambala ge. So that's why we was talking of the East African. For economic prosperity, it must be economic integration in East Africa and the whole of Africa, a common market of Africa. We need a common market of Africa. We have started, and we have got what we call CFTA, the Continental Free Trade Area, so that we can trade. The market is there. Actually, when you're Africa, the Chinese are 1.5 billion inside China. But you find the Chinese died for more markets. But now, China, somebody with 1.4 billion people is still hungry for more market. You, of a small number, you are not even bothered. Dance back at him. Are you not an endangered species? Why don't you see that? Why would the China get worried? Yet he has already got 1.4 billion people inside Abamugorako. You are not bad, you are just seeing. So that is for economic prosperity, but there is a strategic security. Because with the economic integration of East Africa, of the common market of Africa, we shall deal with the economy. Businessmen will have a market. But that one does not address the issue of army. Because the common market doesn't involve army. Defense. We need an African political unit that can guarantee the defense of the black race. That's why we have been talking for the last 60 years of the East African Federation. East Africa would have the capacity to go to the moon and check on what those fellows are doing there. The moon is a common property. Mukora chiwano, kumwezi. Na Africa tuli wano, tuli dance mpaka chini. People are on the moon, they are looking at us like, Babete evinyomo, these insects which eat sugar. The insects, evinyomo, Already uka evidia sukaya. Evinyomo. Tuli wano evinyomo, batulengala bulengezi. Wenza kuleta dumu n'ofuuyira n'ebifa byonna n'okutegeera kibitegeedde ani abisi. So this is very dangerous. Naye kambaleetere ekifaananyi kyange. You can continue, Natasha, they bring my.
Okay. Our next question will be, thank you for your responses, Mzee, always very enlightening, always. I pray that they stick with us. The next question is from Hassan Chikomeko.
I want to first wish a happy new year, Your Excellency.
Hassan who?
Chikomeko. Hassan Chikomeko, Kana Kambata. I work with Fly Express, led by Chairman Peter Kagwa, and I'm your neighbor in Entebbe. Okay. I've been the youth chairperson of Entebbe Municipality.
Okay.
Allow me Mzee, mfukamire nkwebaze kuba oli Jajja. Thank you for the peace. I'm one of the youth who appreciate what we have in Uganda. Weebale nnyo, nsaba Mukama akutukuumire nti akaseera ne we kaliba katuuse ng'ovuddeko olisigala okyawabula Uganda in terms of security and peace. Tulya, tunywa, tutambula, byonna tubikola. Thank you very much. I want also to thank Madam Masera. If it wasn't her, I wouldn't have been here, for recognizing me. My question is, Your Excellency, having led Uganda for decades and having witnessed different generations, as Uganda prepares the next generation of leadership, what structures are you putting in place to ensure young Ugandans transition from dependency to productivity, especially in employment, skills development, and access to capital? Thank you, Your Excellency.
No, it is what we have already talked about. For the capital, we have all these funds which we started, PDM, all those funds, they are there. For the beginners, for the richer ones, there is the UDB. We have put quite a lot of money in UDB. And we are going to keep adding on. Now, for the market, That's what we anticipated. That's why we negotiated with East Africa to have a common market. For infrastructure, you see what we have been doing. Electricity, the roads, now the railway. But now also to mindset change. That's why we are talking of the new syllabus in the schools, the skilling hubs, like you saw those young people there talking. So we are working on every side, software and hardware both. We are working on both for you to succeed. Software including attitude.
Thank you, Mzee. Thank you. Next question is from Marcela Kariche.
Mzee, you've already touched on Pan-Africanism, citing strategic security as a major reason. And you kind of preempted this question, but please repeat your wisdom. What lessons can we learn from America's actions in Venezuela, for example, recently?
Well, the one thing you can learn is that Venezuela, I don't know what they are fighting for. I'm still watching, studying it. This was the Uganda August of June 1963. I remember I was at Mutare in the school. They hung this paper on the notes board. And I was so happy because we had Kenyatta, Obote, Mwalimu saying now they are going to call East Africa to build the East African Federation that year, 1963. Wadri, come and take it and show, take it around. Wadri, come. Mureke. You keep it, it's your gift. So, I don't know what they are quarreling about. The Americans are saying that some of the Latin Americans are sending drugs to the US. But whatever the case, we shall find out, we shall learn more. But whatever the case is, you can see the gaps, which I'm telling you about. Because the Americans are operating from 4 dimensions. Then in 1917, we had good luck. Russia was taken over by communists. These are where people who had a different idea. They didn't agree with imperialism. The communists, they took over Russia. So they started working with our anti-colonial fighters. And then also, African witchcraft worked. Because the Europeans, because of their greed, started fighting among themselves. The First World War. Our African magic worked. They started fighting among themselves. The Germans and the British and all that group. And they mobilized our grandparents to go and fight for them. So our grandparents went and saw, oh, okay, this is how you fight with modern arms. So, by the time they ended this First World War, their quarrels didn't end. Then they started the Second World War. That was even worse for them. By that time, they were so weak that countries like India had to get independence. Because they were not only colonizing the they were colonizing also Asia. Asia, India, Indonesia, Vietnam, all those were colonies. So by the end of the Second World War, they were so weak, they couldn't keep India, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Africa was also on the way. Now, then 1949, China was taken over by communists. So the anti-imperialist bloc was very, very big and powerful. That's how they had to give up, give independence. But otherwise, really what they wanted was to do like what happened in America, where the indigenous people either disappear completely or survive as second class. So that's why this is what I cannot accept. You can see these wonderful people, my children, my grandchildren, you people. I want you to be free people. So I can't compromise on that. And because of that, we started fighting with our own fools here, who are wasting our time. I mean, what? Talk. You don't know what you are doing, but he wants to be our president, Idi Amin. But you don't know what you are doing. And we are in a war with serious people. Then you come here as a joker to waste our time. Get out. Talk. So, that's really the motivation. Freedom for the black race. Freedom for the black race. Insurance. Freedom and insurance of freedom for the black race. Now, about stamina and so on, this is partly also because of, I think I was lucky because my family, because the African people are very strong. The problem are the kings, the ones who are really wasting our time. The rulers are the ones who waste our time. But otherwise, Africans are very strong, especially in this area here. You can read what Stanley wrote. Those are explorers who came here, Huntington Speak, Stanley, they wrote, they said, these Africans, these fellows are advanced, we are advanced. Agriculture, bananas, cows. The problem was just our rulers who were always fighting one another, full of themselves, king, what. Then they divide us. But otherwise, the communities are very strong. Now, the luck I had was that my family never got involved so much in the colonial system, was never involved in the colonial system. My great-grandfather was alive when the Europeans came. He died, I think, around 1915. He never joined the church. He kept with his cows. He didn't join the colonial system. He didn't join the church. He died in 1915. Then my grandfathers were there. They were rich traditional people. They never went into the churches. They never joined the colonial system. They remained with the cows. They died, I think the last died around 1943 there. It was Kabuta who was the first person to go into the church. And by that time I was there myself also. So I went with him as a junior member. and we joined the church in 1947. But even when we joined, we remained traditional. See, traditional people are very strong. They are not very strong. Stamina, looking after cows, what. So things you find, even when I was doing the army, what they were doing in the army was much weaker than my lifestyle. As cattle keeper, we were very, very tough. So it's just luck. Because I think if I had joined the chapati eating and all that, it may have been different. But I'm an original Munyankore who knows English and has studied the world. This is the advantage here about the stamina. My uncles have just died. They were one of them died at 104 years. Another, Kavita died when he was 97. But for most of the time, he was looking after the cows. Even in the 90s, he would go and these children were seeing him. He was looking after the cows. So it is that tradition. If you can imagine a Karamojong, if he doesn't become disoriented, he's a very strong person. That lifestyle there is gives you stamina. So the culture should. I had a discussion with the Nabagereka, and she was trying to talk about the culture. I said, yes, you can audit it. You can audit the culture and see some of the practices which are out of date and remove them, but keep the others which are very strong. So I think it is that combination, the motivation to make sure that you don't become slaves, and then secondly, the stamina is from the historical accident of a traditional man arriving in the city. Because they had never seen traditional people. They had people who had become like westernized. I'm not westernized. I'm an original Munyankore who just arrived in the town here. From when I came to Mbarara, 1959 for junior secondary, that was my first time to go from the village to the town. And see rice, all this. And for us, we didn't like those things. The rice, we were giving it a bad name. We were stuck with our things. Even now, I eat my mhogo. I don't eat rice. So that is
And for us, the chapati eaters, what is our hope?
But remember that millet is there. You can come back to millet, you can come back. Because me, I eat millet. They know. I eat millet, I eat muhogo. I eat our food. I don't eat European foods.
And you inspire all of us. We're almost coming to the end, and if you do give us time, if you do have time, I can ask like 3 more people to just add on. But for now, we have just 4 questions left. One from Mr. Nyangweso, one from Musa Sekamanya, one from the head of the PPU, Sandra Walusindi, and I wanted to ask something about the PDM if we have time. But let's first hear from Mr. Nyangweso.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year, Your Excellency. My name is Timothy Nyangweso. I work with UPC. My question is something you've hinted on, education and human resource of the country. I was reading the Uganda Education Statistics Abstract Report of 2010. It shows the numbers grew to 8 million plus who are enrolled in primary school. Secondary school, it goes to 1.1 million. Then tertiary, it goes to 174,000 people. The question that I'm asking, Your Excellency, you have solved the quantity problem, number of children getting to school. The biggest question now is on quality. What do you envision as quality human resource over Uganda?
Even the quantity is not fully solved. Because as you say, there are 8 million in the primary school, which is 7 years. Then you go to the secondary school, you find only 1 million. What has happened to the 7 million? And the secondary school system is 6 years, almost up to A level. So that means there's a big number of school dropouts. So even that one is not fully addressed because the local elite, because of their not seeing far, have not implemented UPE properly. They still bring back charges which chase children from the school. That's how you have the difference between the 8 million plus versus the 1 million. That means a big number have dropped out, which is what we are going to resolve in the coming Jajja, because in the government schools, I would like to get completely free education. Like I'm giving in the skilling hubs, the one they were showing you here. Children study free. Now on the issue of the quality, the quality, some elements of it are good. For instance, science education, in medicine, in engineering, in science is good. It's good. You get very good scientists. But the problem was in the big numbers of social sciences. Because of the culture of administration, people wanted to be administrators, to be office workers. But that one we are addressing in the new curriculum by really going to the yoga, to the skills in the educational system. So it will be handled. Some of the quality is good because of the intellectual side, science, intellectuality is very good, some of it. But globally, the emphasis on social sciences created a lot of people who are not fitted for the job market, for the economy. That's how you get all these unemployed graduates. These are children who have finished university but cannot get a job. So we are handling both. We shall handle both the quantitative, which is not fully implemented, and also the qualitative, by emphasizing skills. You can be a social scientist, but do farming. That's a skill. Do farming. Do something which is needed in the job market.
I introduced Nyangweso, and then I think I have Musa.
Webale nnyo Natasha. Bampita Shafik Mukulu, Chairman Ghetto is Yellow. Mzee nze nira kwogera ku bintu bya ghetto. Ngoberedde nnyo campaign zo ziwe zogera nnyo ku PDM. Naye ku PDM wetuba twogetu olimu kujja Kampala mu campaign. Kampala ejjudde abapangisa. Tuli bapangisa waliwo abaana bakulidde ku street. PDM eri all about agriculture. Agriculture eyetaaga ettaka, eyetaaga space. otegekedde ki abaana b'e Kampala nga ffe abageto?
Ab'e Kampala nabategekera dda bw'ogenda waliwo eri munda oyise Kasangati waliwo abantu ba workshops benatandika nabo. What do they call those villages beyond after Kasangati?
Gayaza.
Mijera? Ni what? I've got a lot of groups which have supported. There groups in India, Zempagide, is workshops. Like here, there was a group here in Serbia of furniture. I supported groups in Nigeria. There's a girl there called Chihuahuas. You can go and check on her. We supported their group. So we can support artisanship in the town. Artisanship, services of wherever, border. Border is urban. If truly a major town means a college Twitter, peri-urban agriculture, everybody, Yonga, Kazo, Nansana, uyinza kulunda enkoko emanju naye mu town wakati waliwo ebyobugaga ebikwatagana bulungi ne town. Artisanship, carpentry, metalwork, shoemaking, knitting and weaving. We have been skilling many youth in Kampala here. She has been skilling. Where is the yoga? They are there. They were showing some here. Can you show them those activities on the TV? Then services, border, bakery, all those for the town. That's what we emphasize. Chichimanyi, I know it. I will not be talking about PDM in Kawempe because it's not so much applicable as it is in the rural areas. Okay?
Thank you, Mzee. We're almost coming to the end. We have a question from Mr. Sanda Walusimbi. Then we have a response to Kasuku Katende's question. I think someone wants to respond to him after Sanda. Moses Birhanga will respond, and then if you allow, we can have 2 more questions depending on your time.
Okay.
Thank you, Natasha. I'll just quickly go back and tell Mr. Simon those chapels of Bugolobi we should stop. Now, Your Excellency, as the world shifts towards multipolar power centers and rapid technological change, like AI comes to mind, digital trade automation, cryptocurrency, etc. My question is, what strategies will ensure that Uganda is not left behind? And how can Uganda leverage global diversity in wealth creation? Thank you, Your Excellency.
Uganda, what is crucial is African integration. If that one is happening, then there's nothing else the rest will be easier. That's why our emphasis on the East Africa, so that East Africa operates as a common market. but even better as a political federation. But in the short run, at least as a common market. And we are moving well on that. If we have that, and then we have the rest of Africa as a market, where we sell and buy from, there's nothing that will stop us. Others may work with us, they may not, but we shall survive and thrive. So Africa is the crucial area of operation. The rest is additional. Then, okay. Now about the multipolar, that's all right, because hegemony doesn't work. Hegemony is people trying to control the world. It's very dangerous for you to try that. That's how Austria-Hungary collapsed. Because Austria-Hungary was, first of all, Rome. You remember Rome, the Pope? The Pope was trying to control the whole world. That they were Christian, because they had become Christians, so he wanted to control all of them. So much so that when Henry VIII wanted to marry another woman, then the Pope made it his business to go and stop him. That's how problems started. England broke with the Rome, and the wars. The Spanish Armada, 1588, when they tried to invade England. A lot of unnecessary trouble, but if you try to dominate, it's better to work with people rather than trying to dominate. Then, after the Pope failed to dominate the Christian world, after so many wars, it caused a lot of wars. Then, when capitalism came, the French Revolution, 1789, there was a man called Metternich in Austria-Hungary. He was the chancellor who tried to exterminate capitalism, tried to invade France, and it ended up destroying the whole of the empire of Austria-Hungary. So, multipolar is unstoppable. Unstoppable. You can't and shouldn't even try. It's good. What they should aim at is win-win. Because I've been telling some people, why do you want, because right now, you're wonderful Africa. I don't know whether you have those computers which you go with, you don't work, you sleep. Me, I don't have any computer with me. Just keep them far away. Even the phones, I don't go with them. But for you, I always with you. It stops you from thinking. But you can check. Your wonderful Africa, the GDP, I think now is like 3 trillion. The whole of Africa. Do you have your phone? You check now. The GDP of Africa. Me who doesn't go with phones, I have it in my head. I think it's about 3-point-something trillion.
3.1 trillion.
Imagine. The whole of Africa. Of Africa, you know. It's 3.1 trillion. All the dancers in Pakachini, all the... Now you check the GDP of the United States. I think it's about 30 trillion. 30. Check the GDP of the United States.
31 trillion.
30.3. 30.6.
31 trillion.
About 31 trillion. So you imagine, people, the United States is a quarter of Africa. Africa is 12 million square miles. The United States is 3 million square miles. You can fit USA into Africa 4 times. It will fit there. We are 1.5 billion now. The United States is 300 million. So, for them to have so much money when we have so much wealth. And what I've been telling these friends, of course, the problem is first of all us, you people, the influencers. Because the influencers, Bakatende, they're influencing people in the wrong direction. Instead of orienting them in the right direction of value addition, because the biggest problem in Africa is producing raw materials. Losing the value, hemorrhage, ekigambo, erinya, ekikulukuto. Ekikulukuto, remember I used that when I was the other Gen Z. You must stop the ekikulukuto. The hemorrhage, this is a sickness among women sometimes. Banyangore call it a terrorism. This ekikulukuto of Africa must stop. Losing money, losing jobs. And it is that which creates this poverty. So I have been asking to answer your question of multipolar what? I've been asking my Western partners, you people, why do you want to trade with the poor people? Why would you not see that it is in your advantage? Now Africa, if Africa was like, because if you take the GDP of US, which is 30 trillion, for 300 million people, that means that each person has got like $60,000 or what per capita. Would be what for the US? Maybe about what?
$60,000?
Yes, about $50,000. Now, if Uganda, if Africans, 1.5 billion of them, if they were not necessarily 50, even if they were like 30,000, what would be the GDP of Africa? 30,000 times 1.5 billion. Like 45 trillion?
50 trillion. 450 trillion. 1.5 billion times. It's 45 trillion, Your Excellency.
45 trillion. Yes. That should be at least if we were there. Would it not be, wouldn't America do better business with us if we had money in our pockets? They could sell us more planes, they could sell us more this, more that. So why would you want, if you are a clever, I can see that some of these Western thinkers are also not good planners. Because Africans are friendly to Europe, we speak English. I don't speak Chinese, I don't speak Russian. I speak English. I am a man of Shakespeare. So why don't you take advantage of me and you do business with me? But in order for you to do business with me, I should have money in my pocket. So if you come here And you want to take because now when they take unprocessed gold, which is 84% pure, they give like $60,000 per kilogram. When it is processed to 99.9%, like the one in Busia there, it goes for $120,000. So in a kilo, we would be losing like $50,000 per kilo of gold if you sell it unprocessed, unprocessed. If you process it, you use more electricity, local. You create jobs, you get more money. Africa must have a GDP, because very soon, in the next 30 years, we shall be 2.5 trillion, 2.5 billion. We shall be a quarter of the human race, but disorganized. So that's why I want you to be organized.
New Vision TV. Stream smart, stream New Vision.